Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Divine Spiritual Tarot. I am here to do shadow work today. We're on symptoms. So let's start, YouTube. Symptoms is what we are on today. So we have symptoms here, and it says, using this as an opportunity to reflect upon how you have treated others and yourself as a direct to release of the shadow, and also subsecutions to influence on you. So, symptoms we're on. So let's read this part here. It says, you learn a few results of a shadow self, but it is time to develop and confront as parts of the shadow. It's a circumstance of step in the art of shadow work and will help you to move with your life and get a deep understanding of the things plugging your personal life as relationships and work balance. But why you confront and target your shadow, you ask? Wouldn't it be better to instead avoiding the missed situations of targeting negative emotions from your early childhood? It says here, healthy targets is important, and in fact it should be encouraged. Only when we start unpacking the shadow and its behaviors will we learn to live and let it. It says developing a healthy relationship with your shadow. So it's like confronting and developing a healthy relationship with your shadow side. It says here, your goals of bringing the shadow into the light and out of its shambles is for one key factory. Self-love and learning to accept yourself fully. The consequences of letting your shadow stay into the darkness can be a thing as anxiety as well as depression and picking up bad habits. We do things to avoid impersonal. It says here, it is important to center yourself of any sort of targeting behaviors. You want to be as confronting and open-minded as possible to avoid major total negativity. Into a headspace that we encourage behavior traits. You are the only one who knows your limits. And it is important to push and challenge these limits. It is also important to acknowledge your limits and then make the decision to set a space when you can challenge your shadow. So you have to make a space for yourself to shadow your shadow. I don't come on here, YouTube, just for tarot readings. I come in on here as well as shadow work. I believe shadow work is very important, and I am trying to know my purpose, and I know this is one of my purposes. It's to help people to go through transformation, to identify their shadow self. Because I had to, and it was some work, and I'm still identifying my shadow self, YouTube. So let's start. It says, how do you think people perspect of you? So a lot of people don't identify their shadow self. They only care about how somebody think of them. And what I mean by that is, it's like they care about how their mother think of them, their father think of them, their cousins, their aunties, their friends, their co-workers, their lovers, how they think of them. They do not be who they are within themselves. And that's a part of shadowing self, for you to know and identify your high habits as well. Also, shadow is also abandonment issues is one of them, as well as love bombing is another, narcissistic traits is another, as well as sex addiction is another one, as well as Um, you could be a workaholic. That's another one. As well as manipulation is another one. Those are your shadow selves, as well as the ego. Having an ego is a shadow self. Also, not accepting criticism is a shadow self. But some people some people care about what another person think of them and how they perspect of a person thinking of them as well. And it's in their family for most of them, as well as their friends. They be around their friends and they know for some they know their friends are love bombers, or they know they are manipulators, or they be around them just for money, or they be around them just not for who they are. Because if a person really truly love you, they will love you for who you are, not for something else, or not for someone putting another mask on their face and there's something else to make them feel good, to make their friend feel good, or their mama feel good, or their daddy feel good, or their co-workers feel good. That's a part of shadow self. Okay. How has this most influence over you, and how does this affect your actions? So it says, who has the most influence over you? So people comes around you and they can influence you by conversation. They can influence you to change your mind. I'm going to be talking about the 4 agreements pretty soon. I'm reading a book that's called The 4 Agreements, and it's a wonderful book to read. YouTube. It teaches you about childhood. In your childhood, you learned habits from your mother, your father, your friends, and people around you. You learned habits, and those habits carried with you as an adult as well. So anyone around you, it could be your mother, your father, your grandma, your cousin, your friend, can influence you and change your mind to something that you don't want to do. Also, personal traits is good. Learning your personal trait is a good thing to know. One of them is the architect, a person who is qualified to build and to plan and supervise, as well as thinking and judging traits. So someone here, the architect personality is judging others as well. As well as logical is a trait as well. Knowing your traits is a wonderful thing, YouTube. But what fights and target you the most about people? So some people, you need to identify what bothers you with other people, because you can find your shadow self out when people can be targeting you, because it can be something within yourself that you have to identify. The reason why I know that is because I've been through all those things. I went through my shadow self as well, and I also do shadow work, and I'm still doing it today. Shadow work never ends. You have to do it daily, and daily, because it helps you to identify your shadow self and to change those traits, because you don't want to go through karmic cycle after karmic cycle. You don't want to go through pattern after patterns. The same old thing over and over. Some people have patterns of being around negative friends, or friends that is not good for them. Some be around their family and they know their family is not good for them. Some of them be around their co-workers and they know their co-workers are not good for them. Some don't know and they don't identify because they put it in the back of their head, and then when it gets real rough for them in their lifetime, that's when they have to identify it. And that you do not want to do, YouTube. You don't want to go through something to identify your shadow side. You should already, when you're not going through nothing, identify your shadow side, because then you will be ready to identify it. Like I was telling you, YouTube, I had abandonment issues, okay? As well as I had low self-esteem as well. Those are some of my shadow self. You know? And I had to identify that, and I had to heal that within myself. Especially as I am a healer. Because I am a healer. Okay? And I help others to identify their shadow self, because I think it's very important for them to do that. You can't teach others if you do not identify your shadow self. You can't teach others about anything if you do not identify who you are. What do you judge the most about yourself and others? So other people judge other people in this world. YouTube. They judge others to make themselves feel good, but judging others is not good for you. Because when you judging others, it's something within yourself that you have to heal. You have to go within yourself and you have to heal that. You have to heal your shadow self. You have to heal whatever is bothering you. You have to heal that and you have to identify that. Because if you do not identify those things, when it comes to being bad for you, you will have to identify them then, and then it's worser. We also have her reflecting on your friendships as well as sorry about that, YouTube. I also have reflecting on your friendships and also and calibrate them. So it's like looking at your friends. Is they around you just to get something out of you? Is they around you just for love bombing you? Is they around you just to get money from you? Or is they around you to tell you the truth? A friend will tell you the truth. No matter what, even if it hurts you. A friend will tell you that truth. And that's why I'm on here as well, by letting you know about the symptoms and learning your symptoms. Or there are people that makes you uncomfortable. So when someone making you uncomfortable, you need to identify that. Because when you identify if someone here making you comfortable, is something wrong with you within yourself. You have to see that. It could be low self-esteem. It could be abandonment issues. It can be any of those type of things. A shame, guilt. You get what I'm saying? You have to identify your feelings as well as doing shadow work. What habit do you pick over the years that you would like to resolve? So you have to learn how to resolve your issues as well and identify them. Because we pick up habits from others. When others around us, we pick up their habits. That's a part of being a healer. I am a healer as well as an empath, so I can feel other people's energy. And some empaths, it's hard because when you feeling somebody's energy, you can take that energy on, and then you can put yourself in a place you don't want to be at. So you have to block that person energy off from you. I had to learn how to do that because I am an empath. I learned that about myself. So, do you use the habits as a form of coping? So some people use their habits as a form of coping. Bad habits as a form of coping. Withdrawing is another bad habit because you are trying to get away from someone and then you withdraw from them. You shouldn't be scared of anyone. You should be able to be free for yourself. Free yourself. You should be able to be free and not live your life for another person. And that is what's wrong with the world. Not everybody is like that, but some people in the world is like that. They put on a mask towards other people to live their life. You can only find your own limits, like it says in my book that I was reading today to you. You know your limits. You know how your limits, and you know yourself more than anybody in the world know you. But putting on a mask for the world, you're going to have to identify yourself either way. And that's when I know when it go through rough times and you're going through hard times, that's when you have to identify yourself, and that's the dark night of the soul. And when you go through the dark night of the soul, it's really, really deep because you're at the bottom. And you're in the darkness as well, because then you're identifying all your shadow self, all the manipulation, all the gaslighting, all the love bombing, all those type of things within yourself. And you don't want to do that. So you need to Identify it before it happens, because when you identify it before it happens, you won't have a tower in the deck. Intervention of what the divine wants you to do. I know. I work with the divine every day. It's not a game for me, YouTube. As I come on here, I help others, and I try to help others. I don't come on here for the accolades, and I do not come on here to put on a show or to have all the likes on my videos and things like that. I come on here to heal another person. And first of all, you have to start with your childhood. You have to start with your childhood. Because when you start with your childhood, you know your habits. You know the things that you went through when you was a child. And those habits, you're going to have to identify those habits. Because if you do not, you will go through some things, and it's going to be badder and badder. And they call that karmic cycle. A karmic cycle, over and over. Patterns, the same patterns over and over. You going around in circles over and over because you're not identifying it. You're not seeing it. And that's what the divine really want us to do, is to learn ourself and to also learn our symptoms, as well as learning our shadow self. Because when we learn our shadow self, as the divine want us to do, we can prevent towers. We can prevent things that's happening in our life. Because a lot of people blame other people, but it's not the people. It's you. It's whoever that's going through something. It's you that's going through it. It's you that's going through the same pattern. You can stop that pattern anytime. I had to learn that. The divine made me look at it. And when I looked at it, I identified it. And when I identified it, I changed it. It took me time, because I went through another pattern, another cycle, and another cycle. But I got it. And then when I got it, I changed it. That's transformation. Rebirth. Death and rebirth. That's transformation. Transformation is you are ending something and you're starting something new. Transformation is also you're shedding your old skin into something new. And it's a wonderful thing, YouTube. I've been through all those type of things. The dark night of the soul. I've been through all those type of things. And the divine and my spiritual guides, they carried me. And without them, I don't know where I'll be today. But I just wanted to give y'all some heads up about symptoms and about identifying your friendships, as well as putting them in categories, as well as identifying your personal traits. Also identifying why would you care about what someone else think about you. You didn't come in this world for another person to think about you, YouTube. You came in this world for yourself and for the divine. I had to learn that. Now I don't care about what anybody think about me. I came on this world for a purpose, and that's to help other people with their transformation. I am an earth angel. I'm a Sagittarius too. But I'm an earth angel. I'm a transformation earth angel. I help people to go through transformation. Because a lot of people don't want to go through transformation. They don't want to go through the death. They're scared of the death. But then it's a rebirth. And when you go through that death part of it, it's hard, yeah. But it's a rebirth at the end. It makes you look at the things. It makes you change. It makes you to shed your skin, the old skin of you. And then when you're new, you like, I'm free, baby. I'm new. You hear me? I've been through it. I've been through all that. So I just came on here to give you some of those type of facts here, YouTube. But I'm going to get to going pretty soon. And I'll be coming back on here. I'm going to be doing the third dimension, because I want y'all to know the third as well as the fourth and the fifth dimensions. They're really wonderful to learn. And I'll be on here sometime this week to be learning about. You will be learning about the third dimension. The third dimension. Okay. I'll be doing a lot of studying too. So, what is good for my viewers this time around? What is good for my viewers around this time? Thank you. The best virgin. Look at this. The best virgin. It says every day I am growing into my full potential. Therefore, I am becoming more verbal to the world, so I will walk with the arms wide to receive the challenges coming my way. At this moment, I am the best version of myself, and tomorrow I'll be even better. The best version. That is wonderful. And then my body. So identifying your body is as well as shadow work as well. Because then you tense up. You can feel the tense. You can feel the heaviness. You can feel any of that. That's a part of shadow work as well too, YouTube. But thanks for coming on my channel and hearing what I have to say. This is about symptoms. Knowing your symptoms. So you take care. We'll be on next time when I be talking. It'll be about inner child. So you take care, YouTube. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.